Thank you for joining us today. Today we're going to talk about the unfair hearing test. So what this is all about, we have to understand that when our residents do not have their hearing aids in correctly, or if they've been put in upside down, or if the battery is wearing out, they cannot hear very well, or hardly at all. And so there are a couple of things that you need to know about to make sure that you are doing as much as you can to communicate with somebody who has a hearing deficit. So one of the things that you want to do is talk directly to their face or directly to their better ear. And when you talk to them, talk slowly, keep your voice in a normal range. Do not raise your voice higher or lower, especially for us women, because when we do that, we try to raise our voice and we go up higher and they can hear less. So it's very important to keep your voice at a normal range. One of the other things that you can do is, if they can lip read, make sure that they can see your face. And the final thing is, sometimes if we simply just change our words so that we're saying the same thing, but we're using different consonants and vowels or different words, they can pick up the sound and understand what we're saying. So for example, if I kept saying, give me $50, give me $50, give me $50, and they're not getting it, what I need to do is change my words and say, can I have 50 cents? I've changed my words. I haven't said anything different, but by changing the words, they were able to catch some of the sounds. The other thing that we have to be very careful about is certain consonants or certain consonants together have a similar sound to them. And so if we say something like, let's go get our coats, they may be hearing, we're going to go see the goats. And they don't want to go do that, so they're just going to sit there. So we want to make sure that we also, when we try to communicate, that we demonstrate what we're doing a little bit too. So go over and get a coat. We're going to get our coats now, and we're going to go out for a walk. So physically show them, give them verbal cues, demonstrate what you're going to do so that they have as many opportunities to get the message. Another reason why this is really important is because what happens with people who can't hear or aren't catching everything, they start to have their self-esteem lowered. As a result, they start to think, oh, I don't want to go to that group. I don't get what they're saying. I'm always like behind it, or I don't always understand what's going on. Or by the time I figure it out, they've gone on to something else. So we want to make very sure that they feel inclusive, and that's why I want you to use those tips that I said. Talk directly to their face or to their better ear. Change your consonants, change the words. Keep your voice at a level tone so that they have a better chance of hearing you. Now, sometimes it happens that the hearing aids aren't working right, and we're going to have the unfair hearing test so you can see what I really mean by that. So if you would please, right now, take out a piece of paper, and I would like you to number from 1 to 10. And we're going to take the unfair hearing test so that you have a clear understanding of why it is that hearing aids have to be used, have to be put in correctly, and have to be in good working order. Okay, so are you ready? You got your paper out? You've numbered 1 to 10. We're going to take the test.
A piece of paper and write down these words.
Write down the words you hear. First word. Second word. Third word. Fourth word. Fifth word. Sixth word. Seventh word. Eighth word. Ninth word. 10th word. That is what it's like when you take a resident out of the room and you take them down to an activity group and they do not have their hearing aids in. How many of you think you got maybe 2 of those right for sure? Probably not very many. And what happens is they start to self-isolate because they're not catching on to everything that the group is doing. All right, let's take this test one more time and see how you do.
Now, write down these words that you hear.
First word,
Get
second word,
thump,
third word,
pee,
fourth word,
ride,
fifth word,
woods,
sixth word,
fish,
seventh word,
juice,
eighth word,
vid,
ninth word,
juice.
10th word. Now, how many think that you got maybe 50% of those right? That is what it's like when you put the hearing aids in, but the hearing aids were put in like the wrong ear. The hearing aids are marked right and left, and you maybe put the right one and the left one, the left one and the right one. Or you put them in upside down so they're not fitting tightly, or the battery has started to wear down a little bit. And you notice on some of those words you heard sort of like a whistling sound at the end of the word. That is what it's like for them to try to hear when those batteries start to wear down. All right, let's take this test one more time and see how well you do this time.
Now, write down these words that you hear. Fill,
First word,
catch,
second word,
thumb,
third word,
heap,
fourth word,
rise,
fifth word,
wedge,
sixth word,
fish,
seventh word,
choose,
eighth word,
bed,
ninth word,
juice.
10th word. Now, I bet many of you got at least 90% or maybe all 100%. This is what it's like when the hearing aids are put in. They're put in correctly. The battery is working well. This is what it's like. They can almost hear. Their hearing isn't as perfect as if it was if they had their regular hearing and their natural hearing, but it makes a big difference to them. And what happens when they can't hear, they tend to self-isolate. When they can hear, they'll participate. Sometimes when people cannot hear and they stop coming to the group, or what they'll do is they'll sit on the side of the group and I'll say, well, I'll just watch everybody. But then what happens sometimes, people are laughing and making jokes and they didn't get the joke. And then all of a sudden, that little negative thought pattern that's always running around in our heads, like I should do better or I wish I could get this, all these negative things that we tell ourselves, pretty soon they start thinking, oh, they must be laughing at me. They're laughing an awful lot and I'm not getting any of this. So it's very important that they have their hearing aids in, that they are adjusted correctly in the right ear so that they can participate and enjoy what's going on in the room around them. This is part of their life. We want them to have a good quality of life. So this is one area where we can make sure that they don't come out of the room without their hearing aids in so that they can participate as fully as they possibly can. So I hope this has been helpful in understanding hearing deficits and that you'll join us next week when we have another YouTube tape. So remember, please, when you want to look up the YouTube tapes for activity professionals, please go to Portland Community College Connie Ratai, R-A-T-T-I, activities, and that'll help you. We have many other tapes on person-centered care and how to get people into groups and a number of other tapes that you're welcome to watch because we want everybody in this field to be the best activity director that they possibly can be. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.